Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for being here today. As always, if you are new here and you are interested in candle making or fragrance reviews and the occasional tarot reading, wait a minute, it goes the other way around. But if you were new here, welcome. I thank you. For all of you who watch my weekly tarot readings, if you come over here to the candle side, I really do appreciate that. I know if you're not into making candles, it's probably really boring to listen to, so if you don't watch these, that's okay too. But if you do, I really do thank you guys. So I'm a little bit behind on my fragrance review video. I needed to force myself to sit down and do this because I have been so ungodly busy. I have not done a live video in probably a month and a half, and I apologize to all of you about that because for those of you who are just here for the candle stuff, I do the weekly tarot readings, and I wanted to start doing a live free mini reading type thing on every other Wednesday. I have not been able to do that for a month and a half. I won't be able to do it tomorrow either. I'm going out of town tomorrow. Well, not out of town. I'm actually going to my mom's, and I'm gonna take her out to a doctor's appointment and get a few things and whatnot, and so that is going to take the majority of the day because it is 2 towns over, and so it takes an hour to get there one way and an hour to get back, and by the time I come back I'm drained. So I know I won't be able to do it tomorrow either, so I'm gonna have to do one soon because that is something that I actually enjoy doing. I really like it. I'm on there for quite a while and the time flies, but anyway, I digress. So I have not been able to do this fragrance review video until just now, and it is almost 11 at night, so I'm hoping to get this up tonight because, like I said, tomorrow is going to be kind of hectic, so I'm hoping to get it edited and add all my pictures and do whatever I gotta do and then upload it to YouTube sometime tonight. It'll be early morning hours probably, but so I have 9 fragrances that I want to go over. All of them are either from, actually 10, I take that back, 10. All of them are either going to be from Candle Science or Flaming Candle. I have one here that is from a different company. I've talked about this scent before, but I wanted to mention it again, and so I will go over that. For those of you who do not watch me or have not watched any of the videos that I make on candle making or candles or fragrance reviews or anything like that, I do use for my candles, I use C3 soy wax from Flaming Candle, and I use their Pro Blend 650 Tart Wax for my wax melts. I absolutely, hands down, feel like the Pro Blend 650 is the absolute best wax you could use for wax melts. It's got just the perfect amount of firmness, and the hot throw is amazing. I would never deviate from that or try anything else. I have tried different products, and there's no there was the Golden Wax 400, I think, that I tried from Candle Science last year, and I didn't like it because it had a lot of frosting, and if you dye your wax melts, you don't want frosting. You don't want frosting even if you don't dye your wax melts, but I noticed that the Pro Blend 650, it does not have any of that. It's just a nice smooth wax, and like I said, the firmness, I don't want to mess this up, but these will usually pop right out. It's just I don't want to really mess this up to get it out, but the firmness is perfect, and it just has a nice smooth top, and like I said, the throw, cold throw as well as hot throw, is really good. However, with the C3, one of the things that I was struggling with here, and I have mentioned it before in different videos, is my glass adhesion. So I have a really hard time with wet spots on my jars. I do use a clear glass jar, which is probably this is just the jar that I ended up using. I get these large salsa jars. They are 16 ounces, but I always sell them at 14 ounce because, as you know, 16 ounces would be up here at the tip-top fill line. And so there, I got a little bubble. But I sell these at 14 ounces, but they are glass, and so any kind of problem that arises, you can see it without any, you can see it, right? It's just a big thing. Wet spots, it just looks like it looks like wet spots. It doesn't change the quality of the burn. It doesn't affect how the candle burns or how the candle smells, but it is unsightly and I don't like it. And so I decided to branch out and try a different wax for my candles, and I was actually on the Flaming Candle website, and I was actually ordering the Pro Blend 650. I was re-upping on that, and when I looked, I seen, oh, Pro Blend 400 for container candles, and I thought, well, let me try that one, and so I did. And I have been testing it, and I do like it. I love it. I think it's a beautiful wax. The color is beautiful. I had no wet spots on the jars. It was a nice smooth top. I did have to heat the heat gun a couple of times, but just kind of like little minor things. But I actually ended up deciding to stick with the C3 and not use the Pro Blend 400 because it is a paraffin, and that is one of the things that I advertise for my candles, is that they are all soy. And I'm sure that the C3 is a blend and there might be a certain percentage of paraffin. I don't know if there is, but I really do want to stick with as much soy as I can. And to add the paraffin, I don't know, I thought about it, and I do have a couple of candles that are with the soy. I was blending it. I'm skipping all of that because I did talk about that in my last video. I did some testers where I did 100% paraffin or 100% Pro Blend 400. I did a 50%, and then I did a 25%. And I was going to land on the 25% paraffin, but I ended up just not doing paraffin, period. I just decided to stick with the C3 and deal with the wet spots with the C3, because I really don't want to do a paraffin candle. I want to stick with the soy, and so that's what I've decided to do. But because of that, I did discover a new wick that I did switch to, and that is the Premier 765. So, for those of you who do not know, these candles here, like I said, it's the large salsa jar. I usually get it either from Candle Science or from Lone Star. This is maybe a 3¼ inch diameter at the top, and for this, I was using the CD18. It's very, very challenging to go any higher than a CD18 with the CD series because you are going to have a massive amount of soot. And I am never happy completely 100% with the CD wicks, but that was the one that was working the best for me. I would get a nice clean, not 100% clean, but I would get a nice full melt pool with the 18, and it would go down, there was no candle left on the inside of the jar. It was just a really nice burn. And I have tried this with a 24. I've tried this with a 20. I've tried this with a 16, and like I said, the bigger you go with the CD series, the more soot you're going to have. So I went with the CD18. That was what was working best for me. However, when I tried the Pro Blend 400, I could not use the CD wicks with that because the soot was out of this world. It was horrible. I never seen anything like it in my life, and I'm like, oh my god, this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to use the CD with the Pro Blend 400. So then I started branching out, and I tried the zinc. I tried the Premier. I think I bought the Premier 765, the Premier 8, and the Premier 850. Believe it or not, the Premier 765 worked the best with that jar, even though it's a large jar. When I read the reviews on these wicks here, a lot of people were using them for their 8-ounce, 9-ounce jars, but I actually like this one better than the 800 and 850. So I ended up finding a new wick, a lot less soot, a lot less mushrooming, and just as good of a burn, if not better, than the CD. But through this process, I ended up trying the Premier, the Zinc, the HTP, and the Eco. The only one I couldn't get my hands on was the LX. I couldn't get my hands on the LX because they were out of stock. But I ended up settling with the Premier, so that is what I use. So I use the C3 for my candles, and I use the ProBlend 650 for my wax melts, and I use the Premier wicks, and I think that's about it. So I wanted to go over that. I do have a couple of new things in stock on Etsy for the fall season. I am becoming obsessed with mica powder. Okay, I am becoming obsessed with the silicone molds, to the point to where I was actually considering to start making my own molds, but then I had to stop myself and come back to reality, and I'm like, okay, Nyoka, you can't afford to be buying all of these extra crafty type things, so calm yourself down. You're not going to be making your own molds, but these things here are very expensive. Excuse them, they're dirty because I just took some stuff out of them like 2 hours ago and I haven't washed them yet, but I have a lot of these things going on right now, with skulls, with owls, with whatever, you name it. I've got a ton of these things around here, laying around here, ones that I've never even used. Okay, sometimes you can go to Dollar Tree, and for the seasonal things they'll have these out, and every time I go there I buy whatever they have. And sometimes I don't even use it, but you know, for $1 for a mold, if I can find molds there, I will purchase them there. Most of the time I get these on Amazon, but these I found at a fabric store that we have here. It's called Joann's Fabrics. It's like a craft store. And I went there the other day and they had these up front. It was 50% off and they were $10, $9.99 regular price. So that was $5, and I'm like, oh my god, you can't beat that. So here, you know, I'm putting more things in the cart and spending money I didn't have. I ended up getting 3 of these, and so I was already done with my fall stuff for Halloween and whatnot, and so I do have, before I get into these, I do have my marijuana leaf molds that I made. I did them in orange and black. They do have mica powder in them. And I did that in the Macintosh Apple. So I have those in stock. And then I have the black skulls. I have a mix of black skulls in here with black owls. And I did these in cashmere plum. So those are up. Mica powder in there as well. And then I actually, so I had that up and I wasn't doing any more. And then I go into this fabric store and I see these up front and they were calling my name, and so I had to have them. So I come home and I'm excited and I'm ready to make some wax melts, although these are huge wax melts. But I also found these little orange and turquoise baggies at this fabric store. It came with ribbon, and so what I did was I ended up making these wax melts, and 2 of them, they're about 2 ounces each, so 2 of these wax melts come to 4 ounces. Now mind you, this here is 2.7 ounces, max 2.8 ounces. So this is, you know, this here, this is way more than what this is. So you could cut these up, you could do whatever you want, you could just use them for decor, whatever you want to do. But I decided to put 2 in a bag, that's 4 ounces, and so that's... I also added that to the shop as well. I only made 6 of these because I just, it wasn't anything that I planned on doing, and so I only wanted to make a few. So I have 6 of these in stock. I made them turquoise and orange to match the baggie. I think the turquoise is, the turquoise is caramel popcorn. The orange is banana nut bread. So they are a mixture. They are 2 different scents, which I was hesitant to put them in the same bag, but I did. Like I said, it was a last minute thing, and I felt like I really, really liked those baggies. So I decided to use those instead of my other bags. So that's what I did. But anyway, tonight I wanted to go ahead and explore with this again and make candles. And so I made little pumpkin candles out of them, and this is actually a mica powder. This is not candle dye. I used an orange mica powder, and really smells good. It's pumpkin pecan waffle. And so I'm thinking about making a few of these and putting them on Etsy as well. I don't know yet because I need to calm myself down. And oh my god, yes, and I forgot to go over okay, I'll have to remember to do that. But I need to slow down on projects because I'm getting to the point to where every day I'm looking up something new and I'm wanting to try something. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if I'm going to add these or not. I am going out of, like I said, did I not tell you that I was going out of town tomorrow? I think I did. But anyway, I am going to be taking a couple of these little pumpkin candles with me and giving them to some friends. So I just made these as experimental. Because like I said, for a wax melt, this is a big wax melt. So for the wax melts that I have in stock, you know, that's something that you could probably quarter up. Or if you just want to use it for decor, maybe for the season, and then maybe after the season, quarter them up to burn them or whatever. And I'm talking about the wax melt ones that I have on Etsy, not these. But anyway, I decided to just go ahead and poke some holes through the top of the mold. I used a safety pin, popped a hole in there, and I threaded the wick through it and just poured it in there. So that's how I made it. So I've got a few of these. I really like how they turned out. Like I said, they are 2 ounces a piece. Really cute, small little apple, but a huge wax melt. So anyway, like I said, I need to slow down. So I made those with the mica powder. So like I said, I've been going a little bit crazy with the mica powder lately. I have mica powder and I've had mica powder for a couple months now. I didn't use it often. I only have 2 colors. I had the pearl and I had the gold from the Wooden Wick Company. And most of the time I use them in kind of like special little things. For example, I do have mica powder. I have the pearl mica powder in the marijuana leaves, and I have them in the skulls. So because it's a pearl color, it didn't change the color of the actual product. I still dyed them the orange and black that I wanted. But that pearl does give it that nice little glittery swirl, and so it does have that to it, but it didn't affect the color. However, I have been enjoying using it lately, and so I ended up going on Amazon last week, and I went ahead and I ordered a pack of 24 different mica powders, and they're all different colors, so it comes with 24 different colors. And I think this was $20 if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check, but I believe this was $19.99, and they are really, I like the way that they're in these little containers. The mica powder that I had before was in a little baggie, and it is kind of messy, so I really do appreciate these little containers. So for the pumpkins, I ended up using the number 20, which is Tangelo. And that's what gave these this color. And I'm really happy with that. I didn't know that it was going to change the color that much, and so I have not burned any of these yet. I do have another pumpkin over there that I made just for myself so that I can test this, because I don't buy a lot of things on Amazon because I don't know what the quality is. I would never buy anything like wax or wicks or fragrance oil. Even my candle dye, I was getting my candle dye from Amazon for a very long time, but then I even stopped and I started buying my candle dye from either Candle Science or the Flaming Candle. So this is the first time that I've bought anything from Amazon in a while as far as ingredient going into something. I will buy like the silicone molds from Amazon every once in a while, but that's about it. So I'm anxious to try these, and I would have to try these before I put them in anything that I'm going to put on the shop. But I am, like I said, these were for a personal friend, and then I made a couple for myself just to try. But these are really, really cool. There's so many colors to choose from. This is kind of what it looks like. If you can see, 24 colors. The only one in here that they could probably add in here that they're missing would be white. But I do have that pearl, and so I've been kind of using that for the white. But just really, really a lot of variety. I like this one here, this purple. So I will let you guys know in the next video how these are, how the quality is. I looked a while before I purchased these. I went because I read all the reviews, as many reviews as I can possibly read, and this one here was pretty good. A lot of people liked this set. They worked well. Some of the pictures that people put up, they were using this for their soap making, and I really liked the way it looked. So I'm hoping that this burns nicely in the wax melter. But anyway, I will update you guys, and I think this was $19.99. Pretty sure that this was $19.99, but I'll double check. But anyway, so I've been experimenting with the mica powder. I think I will use this for Christmas. I have some 3D Christmas tree molds coming. I only purchased 2 of them because they were, I think, $14.99 a piece. And so that was a little bit pricey, and I'm trying to make some cuts somewhere because prices have been going up on wax, and so I am trying to not go crazy with the holiday stuff. I've already kind of went a little bit crazy with Halloween and fall, but I do have 2 3D Christmas trees coming, and I want to do red and green trees, and I won't do it with the mica. I will not add the mica powder into the wax. I will dye them, but I do want to sprinkle a little bit of the mica powder on the outside of the tree, and so I plan on using these for that. But yeah, so anyway, that's it. Let me get into the fragrance oils here because we have quite a few to go over. First of all, let me go ahead and do the pumpkin souffle. So the pumpkin souffle, I threw away the bottle. That's why I have this one out here. Oh, no. Let me back up. Let me stop before I forget this again because I almost forgot it the first time. I wanted to let you guys know of something that I have put in the shop, and it is blown me away as to how popular it is. So recently, as in a couple of weeks ago, I was on Candle Science and I was just scrolling through their website, and I clicked on the inspiration tab, and they have on their inspiration tab, they have a few different ideas that people can do or people can recreate themselves. And I came across this item called what is it called? The wax. Oh, it's not wax melt fire starter. I think it's just called a wax fire starter. And it is it looks like a cupcake. I'll put the picture up on the screen. It's in a cupcake liner, and all it is natural ingredients, things that are flammable, and you can kind of decorate it and make the aesthetics of it really pretty and put a cinnamon stick in there and some pine cones or whatever you have on hand, and then pour your wax into this cup and stick a wick in there, and it's a fire starter. And so what you can do is you can use these for bonfires. You can put them in a fireplace. You can just place it on a piece of wood and have some kindling around it and light that wick, and once it reaches that flammable stuff in there and touches the wood, then you've got yourself a little fire starter. So I thought that was so cute because they actually on the Candle Science website say that you can reuse wax. So if you have leftover wax, whether it be extra candles that you no longer use, or maybe tester candles or something like that. And I do have a ton of wax and wax melts that I have that I do not have on the Etsy shop. Remember all of those fragrances that I bought from Just Scent, and what was the other one? What was that other company? Candle Cocoon. Remember that Candle Cocoon and Just Scent video that month where I was like really ticked off about how their fragrance oil sucked? Yeah, so I had probably about 30 wax melts just sitting on a shelf somewhere. I wasn't using them. They're not on the shop. So I ended up making a batch of these fire starters with all of my crap fragrance oil wax melts that I had just sitting there collecting dust. And I just wanted to experiment. I wanted to try it and see. So I did go out and I purchased some cinnamon sticks. I purchased, actually I ended up purchasing from the store actual fire starter tumbleweeds because I really did want this to have something in there that was flammable. So I bought the tumbleweed, and what I did was I unwinded it, or not, I unwinded it. Yes, I unwinded it. What's the past tense for that? I tried to unwind it. There, that sounds better. But I put a little bit, I didn't put a whole tumbleweed in each cupcake liner. I just undid it a little bit, and then I kind of spread it apart, and I put one in each liner. They recommended just natural things, for aesthetic appearances, coffee beans, pine cones, pine pieces, rosemary. You can be very, very creative with this. You can use just about anything that is flammable. I ended up doing pine cones. I ended up doing coffee beans. I actually just used some old coffee beans. I'm a big coffee person. I have to have coffee every day. I remember someone purchased for me, it's kind of sad to admit, but someone actually bought me a bag of Starbucks coffee, and they were the real coffee, or the fresh coffee beans, which I love fresh coffee beans because I do have a coffee bean grinder, and I will buy fresh coffee beans whenever I get an opportunity. I just don't care for Starbucks. I'm not a big Starbucks fan. I like, what is that one? Geneva? Is it Geneva? Geneva coffee, or Gevalia. Gevalia. I love Gevalia. I'm just an old-fashioned Folgers person. I love 8 o'clock. I do kind of like that McDonald's one that's out. But Gevalia, I'd have to say, is my favorite. And so I've never been a big fan of Starbucks. I don't like their coffee for some reason. It's just very, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks. And so I had this huge bag of Starbucks coffee beans, and so I thought, oh my god, you guys are going into my wax fire starters. So I was able to reuse all of that wax that I had left over from all of those godforsaken fragrance oils that had no scent to them whatsoever, and I used up the coffee beans that have been sitting in my pantry for the last 6 months. I put in the fire starter tumblers, and I put in some pine cones, some acorns that I grabbed in my own front yard because we have a big tree out there that acorns every fall, and there were still acorns on the ground from last year, so I was out there like an idiot on my hands and knees in the front yard one night, came in with like 20 mosquito bites because I was out there picking up our old acorns on the ground. Probably the neighbors enjoyed that one. But you just make it pretty, and you put a wick in there, and you pour your wax on all of that stuff, and you have yourself a wax fire starter. So I wanted to try it. I was really excited. And they sold out in like 3 days. I made 6 of them because, and I hope I've had the picture on here by now, I put 6 of these fire starters in a single box. And so what I did was I literally bought like the shirt gift boxes because I couldn't figure out what else I could use that would fit 6 of these fire starters together. I didn't want to go with a big box, and I kind of wanted it to be like a gift wrapped item. So if anybody wanted to buy it for a gift, they wouldn't have to deal with anything. They could just get it, and it kind of comes pre-wrapped. And so I ended up buying just I think they're probably the small or the medium size gift boxes for shirts, like a shirt box. And I just filled it with the stringy paper and some tissue paper, and I put them in there, and I taped it closed, and that was how I decided to package them up. But I sold out within the first couple of days. And in all fairness, I only had 3 of them, 3 orders. It was one woman who actually ordered 4 of them at a time. So she ordered 4, and then I had 2 other customers that ordered the other 2. And then I ended up making another batch of 36 because I do have 3 muffin pans Actually, I probably no longer have muffin pans. I only have wax melt fire starter pans now because I can no longer use them for muffins, but whatever. I have 3 of those, so I can only do 36 at a time. So I ended up doing another batch of 36, and so that gives me 6 of these boxes. And I'm down to my last 2. So I am selling these like crazy. People are loving them. I ended up splurging and going onto Amazon and buying this huge container of cinnamon sticks. I think it's like 150 to 200 sticks for $18. So I purchased that, and I have been employing, I shouldn't say employing, I've been begging my family that have pine trees in their yards and things like that to kind of collect some things for me. I still have acorns. I still have the fire starter tumbler that I tear apart. I've still got plenty of that. I've still got my coffee beans. So I am going to be, as soon as I get my cinnamon sticks in from Amazon, I'm going to be making another 6 batches. I might have to do them 2 days in a row and maybe do 12. Because this is kind of bonfire and we're getting close to, fireplace season. So I really want to keep these in stock. I did not expect it to sell like that, like that. Really shocking and really pleased and really happy. And once I used up all of the wax melts that I had from Just Scent and Candle Cocoon, I remembered that last year I had actually attempted to try the IGI 6006 wax, and I hated it. I despise that wax. I don't like the IGI. It does not work for me. It works for a lot of people. It does not work for me. I ended up purchasing 2 10-pound blocks. So at the time when I bought it, I had the 2 10-pound blocks. I used 10 pounds of that just on trying and testing, and I didn't like it. And so I have literally had 10 pounds of IGI just sitting on my shelf for the whole year, and I've never touched it. It was just there collecting dust like all of these wax melts were. So that is actually what I'm using for the wax fire starters right now, is that 10-pound block of IGI 6006. And so I still have other wax melts that I could use, so if I need to add, because I really don't want to use the C3 or my Pro Blend 650 for these. One of the things that Candle Science really were pushing with this project is that you can kind of reuse things that you're going to either just waste or throw away. For example, you do put a wick into this little fire starter. Instead of using a new wick, what I do is when I trim my candles, and I've always done this, so I was like ahead of the game when I read this, but they recommended that you use your clippings because, these wicks are usually this tall, right, above the candle, so you've got to go back when you're done making them and you've got to trim that. And then you've got all of these pieces, these stray pieces that are about, 3 inches in length that you just throw away. So I've never thrown them away. I have a Ziploc bag with hundreds of these cut off wicks, always in the back of my mind that you never know when you could use it. And sure shit enough, I am actually digging into that bag of clipped wicks and I am using it for these fire starters. So there hasn't really been anything besides the cinnamon sticks and the tumbleweed fire starter that I've actually had to purchase for this. So that is like the best part. I'm really, really excited to keep this going in the shop. And for now, they are not scented. It's just regular, just a regular thing that you're going to put in your fireplace. This stuff is so expensive. And I didn't know if by putting fragrance oil into a fire starter, if it would defeat the purpose, because are you really going to smell that fragrance oil? Maybe, I don't know, but I decided to just do unscented, so that's what they are for now, is unscented. But that is in the shop, and that is really, really, like I said, flying off the shelf. I am waiting for my cinnamon sticks patiently because I really want to make more. As soon as I get those, I will be making more. Also, I do have for Halloween, I have, or for fall, I did do my usual marijuana leaves, my little molds. I did this in the Macintosh apple. I did them in orange and black, and they do have a pearl mica powder in them. So these are dyed with candle dye, but they do have the pearl mica powder. So when you burn them, they are going to have that nice little glittery swirl to them. And then I also added some little black skulls and owls. So hopefully I'll have pictures of those that I'll be able to insert at this point in time. But these are up, and these are in the Cashmere Plum that I got from Candle Science, a really, really good scent. And so these are up, and then these pumpkins here. So like I said, I walked into Joann Fabrics. I found these for 50% off. I couldn't help it. I treated myself to a few of them, and then I came home and I hurried up and I made wax melts, although I wish I had made candles the first time, but I ended up making wax melts, and they're pretty big. Okay, this is the same size, except I did them in orange and teal. So there's one orange pumpkin and one teal pumpkin. The teal is caramel popcorn, the orange is banana nut bread. I didn't really want to put them together in a bag, but I did. But I bought the bags at the Joann Fabric store, and it came with that color of a ribbon, and so I wanted to kind of make the candles to match the bag that I was using. I decided to do that instead of these bags that I have. I just thought it was kind of more cute. And how perfect is this for like a coworker, like a little coworker gift, you know, or a friend gift or something. If you're just looking for something small for someone, I thought that this was too cute. It comes with a little tag, and so I just think it's adorable. So that's why I decided to bag it like this, but mainly for kind of a gift. So it's kind of technically pre-wrapped, if you will. You could buy this and just hand it to someone. But when I weighed these on my scale, these actually come out to 4 ounces. So these little pumpkins here are 2 ounces a piece. So I think I priced these at 10, if I'm not mistaken. I think I priced them at 10 because my wax melts are $6.50, which, you know, it's, I'm not even going to go there, but these are $6.50, and so these are 2.5 ounces, maybe 2.7 max. This is 4 ounces, so this is a lot of wax, and it's got the mica powder in there as well. So these are on there. I thought it would be just, like I said, a cute gift. But then when I thought about it, because like I said, these pumpkins are really big, this makes for a very thick, big wax melt. So you could cut that, you could quarter it, whatever, use it for decor. But I wish I had thought about running a wick through my mold, and so I did that today, which is why this is dirty still. But I used a safety pin, and I popped a hole in there in the top, and I ran a wick through there, and that is how I ended up making this candle. So this is actually, like I said, going to a friend. But I just wanted to test it and see how it would work out, and it worked out just fine. And like I said, this is the mica powder, so I don't know if I'm going to add these to the store or not, because, you know, I'm just repeating myself at this point. I need to slow down with the projects because I'm coming up with a new project every day. So I might do that, I might not. And recently I also added the Zodiac candle to the shop, which I was super excited about. Now I have the tarot candle and I have the Zodiac candle, and this year I just decided to use the Virgo since it's Virgo season. I'm a Virgo, and so yeah, really excited about this. Already sold a few of these, so I hope that this actually goes well. I hope that it is as successful as the tarot candle has been. My plan, actually, to be honest with you, I might start weeding out regular candles, and I don't know yet. I'm thinking about weeding out regular candles and just strictly going with tarot and Zodiac and focusing on wax melts. Tarot and, well, I don't know about Zodiac because this is fairly new, but tarot is, I'd say, 80% of my candle sales. I do sell an occasional candle here and there, but most of the time people, when they order candles, they are ordering the tarot candle. The holiday candles I have in all of these scents, I actually made those in 8-ounce jars, and so those have been selling pretty well. But I'm literally thinking about, from now on, just buying the regular fragrance oils that I usually get, but instead of putting a regular label on them, leaving them blank, and just doing tarot and zodiac. So I'm not sure yet, but that is something that I'm contemplating. Like I said, this is about 80 to 90% of what people are buying when they purchase candles. I do have a few customers that like particular scents. I do have April Downey, and I do have two ladies specifically that love the April Downey, and they will replenish the April Downey every so often. So I don't know. It's just something I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not. I might. I don't know. I'm still debating. All right. So anyway, that brings us down to the wax melts, and I will go through this really super quick. But the first one I'm gonna go over is the pumpkin souffle. And this was actually from Flaming Candle. I do not have the bottle here because this is the second time I've had to make these, and so I finished my bottle. This is an actual really good one. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite pumpkin scents ever. This is such a nice scent. Smells exactly like pumpkin. It's just it screams fall. Hot throw is good. Cold throw is really good. So again, Pro Blend 650, fabulous wax melt. I cannot say enough good things about Pro Blend 650. You mix Pro Blend 650 with some Flaming Candle and Candle Science fragrance oil, and you have got a good wax melt, I feel. If you're mixing it properly, I should say. Depending on how much fragrance oil you put in, but you should have a pretty good wax melt. Okay, so I give that on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. I give this a 5. So pumpkin souffle, absolutely a good one. All right, so let me go over really quick this one here, the cranberry chutney. All right, so this one in particular, I ended up buying 2 16-ounce bottles. This is my second one that I've started to dig into, but I will say, and I'm gonna give this a 5 because it's a really good scent. But I am going to say that this is going to be one that I think I will actually use this for Christmas as well, because this has a spice to it that just reminds me of Christmas. Yeah, to me this is more Christmas than it is fall. The cranberry got me though. I ordered it because of the cranberry, and so I'm thinking Thanksgiving. So that's, you know, but it's definitely more of a Christmas scent. But I really like it. It's a really good scent. I give it a 5. But definitely, I will be using this in some of my Christmas molds and things like that. But it's really spicy. It's sweet and it's spicy at the same time, and it's just really a good mixture, and I really like it. I actually purchased this in place of Cranberry Woods. Cranberry Woods was one that I had in stock last year, and it was one of my favorites, and when I went to order it from Candle Science this year, they were out of stock, and I could not find any other cranberry one from Candle Science that I really wanted to get, and so I ended up going with this one from the Flaming Candle, and I'm happy I did. I don't know if I necessarily like it better than the Cranberry Woods, because Cranberry Woods is really good, but I do like it, and I give it a 5, so that's a good one. But it does have that spice, because that's what chutney is, right? It's that spicy kind of, you're getting the cloves and the nutmeg, but it's not overpowering. You don't smell it and think, oh my god, nutmeg and cloves. You still, I think the first note you pick up is that sweetness from the cranberry, and then followed by that are the spices, and it's just a really nice blend. So I really do like that. And then I have, okay, so this one here is my all-time favorite, Macintosh Apple. I have to tell you that this here is probably my favorite scent out of all the fragrance oils that I've ever tried from anywhere, this is one of my, this is my favorite scent. I absolutely love the McIntosh Apple. This is one that I purchased last year from Flaming Candle. I knew I was going to get it again. This is my second bottle. I bought 2 of these 16-ounce bottles, and I can tell you right now, I actually made myself 10 wax melts with this scent. Yes, I did. I made myself 10 of these with this scent because I love it so much, and I think I have one left. I don't even have a full one. I have one with like 2 squares, and this is embarrassing to say, but the reason why I go through it so fast is because I have 9 wax melters in the house. So every room in the house has one. The kitchen here, bedroom, actually our bedroom has 2. We have one in the bedroom and one in the master bath. We have 2 in the living room. We have one in the main bathroom. My youngest son has one. So we have like 9 or 10 wax melters in the house. And so on wax melt changing day, I go around and I change all of the wax melts, and I can easily go through 2.5 of these in one change. Like I said, this is a little embarrassing, but yeah, so I'm like obsessed with wax melts. I always have been. I always love wax melts. I love the wax melters. But anyway, and I've got a couple of the small plug ones in, or the ones that you plug in, those little small ones into the wall. So I've got a couple of those. I've got one in the main hallway, and then I've got another one in the living room. So technically the living room has 3. I don't know. I've always liked a house full of candles and wax melts, and now that I make it, I sometimes go crazy and drive everybody else crazy here in the house along with it. But anyway, I digress again. So I actually, with this scent, I made myself 10 of these, and I've got about 2 cubes left, and so I'm getting a little nervous. So I don't know if I'm going to use this to make myself some more, or if I'm going to switch over to a different scent and start trying something else. But I absolutely love this. All I can say, this isn't even a 10. This is like a 20. Okay, this is a 20 for me. I absolutely love the McIntosh Apple. This here is like walking into a farmer's market on a Sunday morning, and you just have that wonderful 65-degree weather outside with the leaves blowing in the air, and you're walking past the fresh apples. That's what this smells like to me. Better. It actually smells better than an apple. It smells better than a fresh apple. It smells like what a fresh apple should smell like. I absolutely cannot say enough good about this. Favorite scent. I've always been a huge apple person around this season. This is probably, like I said, it is my favorite one. Somebody, if they like a little spice, this would be a good blender with maybe some cinnamon. But I love it just as it is. I wouldn't want to touch it. I wouldn't want to tweak it. I don't want to add anything to it because I like it just how it is. I love this one. So that's a good one. And then, let me see. Cashmere Plum. This is from Candle Science. This is also, I'd say, a 10. This is probably one of my top 5 fragrance oils of all. This is a close one to that McIntosh, a really good one. Yeah, that's nice. That is really, really nice. This one here, I think that you could probably get away with keeping it in stock all year round. I try to make sure that I give everyone a sample of this one, as well as the McIntosh Apple, because I just really want people to try these, because this is like one of those ones where you wouldn't expect it to be as good as it is. It's just like one of those hidden gems. It's a really, really nice one. So this is a definite 10. Let me take that back. This is a definite 10 from Candle Science. Good hot throw, good cold throw. And then we have the Pumpkin Pecan Waffle, which is another good one. This one here I've had to actually re-up. This is a top seller right now with the fall scents. This is the one that's selling the most out of all of these. Well, I take that back. Minus a couple of these, this one here is selling the most. And so this is actually my second bottle that I had to re-up my wax melts because I completely sold out. and just seems to be a really popular one. It is very true to its word. It is very much waffle. What is this? Pumpkin pecan waffles. That is what it smells like to the T. I don't know how they do these scents or how they match them to what they call them, but they do, and they do it wonderfully. That's a wonderful one. Definitely smells like a fall morning on the weekend, a fall weekend morning. So this is a good one. Definitely a 5. And then we have banana nut bread. So banana nut bread was one of the fragrances that I had in stock last year for fall. It was a really popular one. This one I only bought one 16-ounce bottle, and all of these scents here that I do have them available in both candle and wax melt. For the holiday seasons, though, I am doing an 8-ounce jar. Actually, they're 9 ounces, but I sell them at 8 ounces. So all of these holiday candles are going to be in these smaller 8-ounce jars, and then I have the wax melts. And so all of these are available in all of them. But this one here, I have not had to re-up, so one was enough. And then, again, really, really nice scent. I had this in stock last year. It was really popular, so I definitely wanted to bring this one back. I'm not overly fond of it, though, for some reason. It is a very good one, and it's popular. People have been purchasing the wax melts, and I have some feedback from a couple of people, and I remember one woman said it smelled like she was baking banana nut bread in her kitchen. It was a really nice scent, and it does smell like that. I'm just not a big fan of banana. So it's just a personal preference on my end. But as far as, the quality of it, the hot throw, the cold throw, I still give it a 5. It definitely hits the mark on what it's supposed to smell like. But just like with pineapple, when I mentioned to you guys about the pineapple, it's just one of those scents that I'm not overly fond of. And so, it's still a 5 though, because the quality is there. And a lot of people do like that one. And then I have caramel popcorn. So this one was new. This is the first time I've tried this one. I didn't know what to expect on this one. I really didn't. The reviews some were really good 5-star reviews, and some said this was horrible. I think the overall consensus, though, was it was a pretty good scent, and so I decided to try it. I did not know what to expect with this. However, when I first got it and I opened it up and I smelled it right out of the bottle, if you're going to make wax melts or candles or soap or whatever it is that you do with fragrance oil, have some caramel corn baking in the oven while you're doing it, or buy some caramel corn at the store, because you are going to want some caramel corn when you're making your product, because this smells just like the real thing. No, this smells better than the real thing. I've never had caramel corn smell this good, to be honest with you. But it is spot on. It is spot on, and you can pick up that butter. You can pick up the butter. I would almost say the butter hits. I pick up the butter first, and even though that doesn't sound appealing, it smells really good. It's like a rich sugared butter is what it smells like, and then you pick up the caramel. So it's a really good one. I really like it, but that was out of the bottle. So I really liked it out of the bottle, but I didn't know if I was going to like it in the product, because even though I personally love caramel corn, and I make caramel corn every year for the holiday seasons, I'll make it a couple of times, but I didn't know if I wanted a whole living room or a whole bedroom smelling like caramel popcorn. And so what I did was I took a sample of it, just one little 1-ounce cube, and I put it in our bedroom. No, actually I put it in our bathroom. I put a sample in our bathroom, and I left the room. I came out here, I did my thing. I went in later on to check something or do something, and I forgot that I had put it in there. And I remember walking in, and I was like, oh my God, what is that smell? It smells so good. And then I remembered it was the caramel popcorn, and I absolutely was blown away by how good it was. I really, really loved it, and I ended up adding one to the living room. The boys absolutely loved it. They came home from work and they're like, God, Mom, it smells like fall in here. It smells like popcorn. So it's really a good scent, and it surprised me. I really like this one. This one's a 5 for me, definitely. And I actually like this one better than the banana nut bread. This actually ended up being one of the favorites for me. I mean, it's nowhere near that Macintosh apple or the cashmere plum, but this is probably, right up there with my top few. And I'm surprised by that because it's not anything that I would buy if I were at the store. I would not buy a caramel popcorn wax melt or a caramel popcorn candle. That's just not what I would, be drawn to, but I really do like that one. And then we have, we did the cashmere plum, pumpkin pecan waffle, banana nut bread. All right, so what is this one here? Okay. All right, so this one here, cypress and bayberry. So this is one that I wasn't planning on buying. It was not on my fall list, but I had a customer reach out to me and she had sent me a picture of a fragrance oil that she looked at on Candle Science, and it was called I think it was cypress and gin. Cypress and dry gin, maybe. And she wanted to know if I could order it because she wanted some wax melts with it, and I said sure. So I go onto their website, I go to order it, and it's out of stock. And so I looked around and I found this one here, the cypress and bayberry, and I reached out to her and I showed her this one and I said, would this work? Because right now I can't get that cypress and dry gin or whatever it was. And she said that was fine. So I ended up buying this, and I actually really, really like this, but this is definitely more of a Christmas scent. This is definitely like Christmas tree. Whatever you think a Christmas tree or kind of like that balsam fir type scent, that is what this is to the T. It's a really good one. It's just not a fall scent to me. But I still give it a 5 because the quality is good, the hot throw is good. I have tried the wax melts, and it literally, I have some wax melts over there, just testers for myself, and every time I move, because I just have them in like a little Ziploc baggie just because it was just my stuff, and every time I move the bag I can get a whiff of it and it smells so good. It smells just like Christmas. And I have burned a couple of them, and it really is a really nice Christmas scent, but I'm not quite ready for Christmas scent yet. I have to kind of be more in the mood and a little bit deeper into the season before I start burning the Christmas scents. But this is a really good one, and I've actually sold it, surprisingly. A couple people have purchased it. Ironically, the woman who requested it did not, but a couple of people have purchased it, and so I was surprised because it's got like a Christmas label. I put a Christmas label on it and everything. So this is one that I'm actually hoping, will be more popular in November and December and later on. But that's a good one. So that's a 5. All right. So 2 that I have here, my 2 last ones that I want to go over, and then I'm done. The one that I went over before, which is this one here, it is the sweet tobacco and vanilla, and I get this from Fillmore. Those of you who watch me, you probably know that I can't stand Fillmore. It's more of a hit and miss for me. More misses than there are hits. So I only purchase 2 fragrance oils from Fillmore, and that is the sweet tobacco and vanilla and their patchouli. There's something about their patchouli that is just a wonderful, wonderful patchouli. To me, it's just spot on patchouli. It doesn't have any of that men's cologne type smell to it like a lot of different companies do. And I don't like that men's cologne type patchouli. Fillmore is just straight patchouli. It is straight woodsy. There's no men's cologne to it, and I like that. So I continue to buy their patchouli, and I continue to buy their sweet tobacco. I cringe every time I buy this, though, because it's so ungodly expensive. It's like, I can't remember. Hopefully I have it on the screen, but it's either $32 or $34 for a 6-ounce bottle or a 16-ounce bottle. That's expensive. I think out of all these bottles here from Candle Science and from Flaming Candle, not one of them is $32. They usually range anywhere between maybe $21 to, once in a while there might be one that's $23, $24. I've never spent $32 or $34 on a 16-ounce bottle of fragrance oil in my life, except for from Fillmore. And unless you know what you're getting at Fillmore, you have to be careful with them, because some of them are, when I say awful, I mean awful, like pungent, like so bad that I've thrown the bottles out. I couldn't use them. And so these two here, this one and the patchouli, are the only two that I purchase from them, and they are great. This one here I wanted to mention because this one here I have in stock all year, but I do kind of consider it a fall kind of fragrance. I can't keep this one in stock. This is a good one. I can't even describe this. It's so, oh, you know what though, to be honest with you, out of the bottle it's a little bit strong. It smells very, very almost too much. If I didn't know how this transferred into wax, I would probably give it a 3 because of the out of the bottle smell. So it's one of those fragrance oils that the out of the bottle is not pleasing, but once it's in the wax and it's cured, it's absolutely wonderful. But because I know what it smells like in a wax melt and a candle, I love it regardless. But I could definitely see how that could be almost a turn off to it. But this is a really popular one. Like I said, I cannot keep this in stock. I literally sold my last one the other day. I didn't know that I was out. I got an order and it was this and a few other wax melts, and I could see in big red letters on my shipping label that it was out of stock, and I'm like, oh my god, really? And I went to my shelf over here and I looked and I'm like, oh my god, how did I let myself get this low on inventory on something that sells? And so I ended up making more that night. This time I made 20. So I made 20 of these wax melts. That's what I have in stock right now. And so hopefully that'll last for a couple of weeks. But this is one that I sell probably every day. And I love this one here. This is one of those fragrance oils that I have made for myself, okay? This is a favorite for the entire family here in the house. Everybody loves this one. And so I don't do that anymore because it's so expensive, and so I don't make this for myself anymore. Once in a blue moon I'll make a sample or maybe one wax melt, but I can't make a whole bunch of this because it's so expensive to keep in stock. So this one here, definitely a good one. And the patchouli is a very popular one too. I tend to sell that patchouli quite a bit. And then the last one that I'm going to go over is this one here, and that is the frankincense and myrrh. So the frankincense and myrrh is, this one here is, I can't, it is so good. This one here, by the way, 10. I give this one a 10. This one here is my favorite frankincense and myrrh. I have tried several from several different companies. I've tried Candle Science. I've tried Fillmore. I've tried, did I try Lone Star? There's a couple of other ones too that I've tried that I literally just went to buy the frankincense and myrrh. I finally landed on this one last year. This one was one of the last ones that I had tried, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And from then on, I have stuck with nothing else. I will not purchase frankincense and myrrh from anyone else besides Flaming Candle. This is one of those scents that you want to get right. And this is a hard one to me to get right. And so I think that Flaming Candle does a great job on it. This is one that I would make for myself. This is one that I would have extras around for around here because I like this one so much. In fact, I'm surprised that I didn't keep this in stock all year round because this is a good one, and this one sold really well last year. I literally just brought it back in stock a couple of weeks ago, and I think I've only sold 1 or 2 of them. But this is a really, really good one. I really love this one. It's just a smooth, I can't describe it, but this is a 10. This is a 10, hands down. I love this one. I think, as a matter of fact, I might end up keeping it in stock all year round because I love it that much. But I usually will have this as a Christmas scent, but I wanted to get started on it early. But I am going to be continuing to have this in season definitely for the rest of the holiday season and possibly longer. Really good one. I love this one. Again, I would not get frankincense and myrrh from anyone else, including Candle Science. I don't care for theirs. The last order, when I ordered my Candle Science fragrance oils, I actually requested their frankincense and myrrh for my free sample, and I made a couple of wax melts for myself, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it had that men's cologne type scent to it. It smelled more like men's cologne than it smelled like frankincense and myrrh. And I didn't really hardly pick up any of the frankincense that I was hoping for with that fragrance oil. But Flaming Candle, to me, really nails it with theirs because you do not pick up men's cologne with this at all. This is just a really, really nice pure frankincense and myrrh. It's got a very nice woodsy smell. They really blended the right woods for this, in my opinion. And there might be some floral notes in there, I'm not sure, but you can definitely smell the blend of woods, and I really, really appreciate that. So I love that one. So that one is also available. And I did order my Christmas scents, so I've got those coming. I think I have 4 fragrance oils coming. I know I have Old World Christmas. That was a good one last year. That was a really popular one, and I liked it. It had like a Christmas tree scent to it, but it also had a spice. I don't know, there was something I really, really liked about that one. And I had a couple of customers that specifically only ordered that. They really liked it, and they came back, and I'm thinking of this one woman in particular. She wrote to me, and she said that her daughter was pregnant, and she could not handle many smells. But for whatever reason, she could handle that Old World Christmas. In fact, if anything, she loved it. And so she came back towards the end of the holiday season. This was after Christmas, and so I was just kind of getting rid of, the few that I had left, and she ended up buying the rest of them completely out. And she did come back one time after that, but I was out, and I didn't buy any more. So I wanted to offer that one again. I think I bought. Did I buy what was it? Christmas wreath? No, mistletoe? I don't know, something like that. And I think I got a Christmas tree scent and a gingerbread. I really wanted gingerbread. I like the gingerbread scent, even though now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have gotten gingerbread because maybe that's more of a fall. I don't know. But I plan on, again, I consider the frankincense a Christmas scent. I consider the the cranberry chutney kind of a Christmas scent, and then the cypress and bayberry is kind of a Christmas scent. And so I'm trying not to go overboard and go too crazy because prices of wax have gone up, and so I don't want to buy. I kind of feel like I almost went overboard on the fragrances for fall, but I don't know. I that was as far as I could limit myself. But I am only going to get these 4 fragrances for Christmas. And like I said, I do have the 3D Christmas tree candle molds coming, so I do plan on doing the Christmas trees. I do have some little gingerbread men wax melt molds, which is why I wanted the gingerbread fragrance oil, because I want to offer the gingerbread men in a gingerbread fragrance oil. And so I think that'll probably be it. And then we'll be back to the regular stuff. But I hope this helped you guys. If there was any fragrance that you were on the fence about getting, or anything like that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I will put my Etsy link in the description box so that you guys can go there and check it out. If you check it out, I really do appreciate it, and I thank you. You know, you can kind of read the reviews and see what people are saying, what scents are popular, what scents aren't popular. You know, whatever you want to do, just check it out, and I really appreciate that. If you have any questions about candle making or wax melt making, or if you have a question about a wax or anything like that, if I've tried it, I can help you out. Or if you have suggestions, I take suggestions as well. If there's a fragrance oil that you want to recommend, you know, for example, if you've tried the frankincense and myrrh from a company that I have not tried yet, I would be, you know, open to hearing that information. But anyway, until next month, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to try to get this video up tonight. I'm going to try because, like I said, I don't have time tomorrow. So, I don't know. We'll see. All right, you guys, I'll see you next month. Bye.